Ooh. Hi guys, I'm Degenerate, and welcome back to TouchStarved. This is part 2 of this lovely game that I started a couple of days ago. Quick little recap before we start. We first started as this very self-diminishing character that has the power to make people turn ugly. Just like that. Right? Just by touching them. We thought we died, but no. This sexy man saved us. But he won't tell us how, because he's so full of secrets. Then, we asked him, hey, can you tell me how to get to the Synovium? And he's like, the Synovium? Girly. You don't need to go to the Synovium. I think you'd rather go to this guy, which I forgot his name already. And we discovered that he is immune to our little touch thingy power that makes people turn ugly. And we also find out that he is the resident slut of the village. So that's also something interesting. But he also gave us a free room. After that, we meet this little mischievous one who steals our little room key and decides to have a nice conversation with us. Just to play with us, like as if we're a toy. Right? And then we find out, after, chatting with him for such a long time, that he is someone else's pet. Interesting. So, let's continue from there. After we get our key back from that mischievous little fox thing. It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Iridia in two. A colossal bridge arches over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill toward the distant tower. Oh, what is going on here? Hours later, legs aching, sweat beating on my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. The Synovium of the luminous void. So we go anyways, after 3 people warned us. Interesting. It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up and up, until the top of the Synovium tower disappears into the clouds overhead. My stomach gives an uneasy lurch. Though far grander than the humble shrine of my youth, the Synovium gives the same impression of being a gilded birdcage. That should be a warning. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when suddenly someone moves in my peripheral vision. Uh-oh? A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. Oi! You there! Oh yes, I forgot. I gave everyone an accent. It's just the environment, It gives them that English type of accent. The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it. And a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps toward me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing. Just the leaves blowing gently in a cold breeze. Hello? Oh, because I know I pressed it. I step away from the gates, hopelessly washing over me. Hello? Hello, love. A whisper, so close I can feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. Someone is always right behind me. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off her, not because of the way she smiles a little too widely, or the way her tousled braids look unbrushed for days. Can't brush braids.
Bruh.
You would have to unbraid them. They wouldn't be braids anymore, it would just be hair. But because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural crimson, I'm both entranced and unsettled by their subtle glow. Okay. These days, you need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, or if I even should. Her gaze is uncomfortably fixed on me, heavy as lead. Let's be sarcastic. We've been very sarcastic lately, so we might as well. Seems like I'm in the market for a miracle. Know anyone selling? She beams at me like I've said the greatest thing she's ever heard. Lucky for you, I have them for free. Everyone is just giving it away for free lately, just like last episode. First guy we meet, he gives us free treatment, basically brings us back to life. Well, the second one gave us a free room, but it's also a room where he gives free, you know what. And then the third guy gives us free, advice? And now this woman is trying to give us a free miracle. So, we're looking at a free 99 streak going. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. We already talked to her, it's too late. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. Can we see what this woman looks like? She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. What are you... As worn fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen sunken scar carves into the woman's body. Pitted, gnarled skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. Okay. A shuddering breath escapes me. The Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from the inside out. How was she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... The power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the Seaspring. The woman slides back into her blouse and definitely laces it up. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. Without another glance, she leisurely strolls down the Synovium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scar peeks out from under her collar. I stand there wordless, until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. Nonetheless, read. This could be the stupidest decision in my life. Well, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the Synovium shut gates, then follow her down the steps. We descend from the higher streets, leaving behind their gilded decadence. As we cross the river, the wet, deer-lick districts felt more familiar to me. But the crimson-eyed woman takes me further, and further still, until I'm met with an all-too-familiar sight. Uh-oh? Isn't this where we were, dead? My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Iridia's walls is a gamble. Gamble? Why'd I say it like that? I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the Seaspring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntary. The Seaspring better not be that weird-ass monster that almost killed us. So, yeah. I'd rather not. Are you kidding? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. Bitch, I almost died yesterday. Just yesterday, was it, yeah? In the same environment. So you cannot tell me what is safe and what is not. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Ias. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than that. What? I squint against the empty wastelands. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently I'm both. I'll say. But if the Seaspring cured her, I need to see what it can do for me. I set off into the waste. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, degenerate. I hope we meet again. Don't ever. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. It doesn't take me long to realize it's not the only heartbeat I hear. Like a nagging thought at the back of my mind, I can sense another pulse thrumming through the earth beneath my feet. I felt this presence before, when I first stepped out of Kura's clinic, a living dread coursing underneath the city. Only this time, I'm getting closer to it. For what seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward, one step, then another, until a realization hits me. I never told the woman my name. Shocking. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honeyed mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. A row of darkness silhouettes stand out on the horizon. Trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless. Several of them watch me in the distance like statues. So the monsters that we saw before. I don't think, I just run, exploding into a messy sprint. I push my legs as fast as they'll take me toward that decorated building. Flashes of last night chase me. The gushes of blood and screams of death, the smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through that again. I won't. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through towering double doors. Come on, where are we? How did we get here? I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I process my surroundings... Oh, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. I honestly want to know how we got here. We just ran, but we ran before. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth. It could just be red water, decoration. Just as scary, spooky. But the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the Seaspring, the place that grants miracles. Looks like someone was having a little tea party. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of my environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seated pillows scattered the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. I will call out. I am ambitious. Hello? Is anyone here? My voice echoes across the cavern without response. I approach the paper-covered pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for the topmost, closest most, bottommost. I feel like, why does this matter? I'm short, so I would usually, for some reason, try to reach for the top. I reach for the note that's higher up. It reads, "No one will read this, but it's not for anyone else. This is evidence I existed in this rotten, grim world." Emo. Even so, I wish I could have stayed longer. The bog girl will be lonely without me. I should have told her how I... Huh? The rest is scratched out. I wonder who wrote this. Oh my god, who wrote this? Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. How do you know that? I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty, vacant. Finally, I look towards the Seaspring. That stillness hides something deeper, something wrong. Something familiar. It's watching me. Hey. Hi. I spin around and come face to face with a pack of Solas. No way. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly. All different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. Yeah, I kinda figured. I try to back away, but my heel teeters over the Seaspring. I'm concerned. Oh, cornered. Why'd I say concerned? Watch your step, it's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the Soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. Uh-oh? I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lunging in the rafters. Hello? You look lost, little sparrow. I don't know what voice they give him. His voice is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaving me feeling raw and exposed. Golly! They're the same eyes I've seen over and over. First with the scarred woman, now with the Soulless circling me, all bound by the Seaspring's blood red. In the shroud of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. Interesting. I can't focus. The Soulless growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey. Who is saying hey? Eyes on me. I'm being surrounded by a whole bunch of monsters and you want me to focus on you? I wish I could, but safety is a priority. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the Soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. You know what else isn't polite? Surrounding me and monsters. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? I'm distracted. Fuck you. Okay. We're not gonna be completely mean. Let's just point out that we're distracted. I'm kind of distracted by the soul that's about to maul me. His name turned the bastard. Only on my command. I scan the Soulless again. They really aren't attacking. Posturing more than anything else. You tamed them? He's probably their dad or something. Power of his Seaspring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. What kind of reason would that be? How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing? I ran to a random, like I just ran to any random place. It's not my fault that I ended up in this weird piss lake. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were we supposed to play hide and seek? Didn't hear you. Yes, you did. My voice stops in my throat. This man's terse coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to defuse the situation. I need help. Tell me what you want. Why am I asking him what he wants? I'm here to get what I want. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to get what I want. I need to get this weird thing off my arm that apparently is so bad. But when I touched this town's harlot, he seemed okay with it. So I don't know what to do. So for now, I'm gonna ask him what he wants. He seems like a person who likes to get what he wants. So tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Oh, looks like I didn't even have to ask. Your hands. Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. That's fine. I like a, you know, I like a guy who doesn't need to ask twice, you know? With a sharp huff, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Why is that the first thing I say? I would like to revoke what I just said. Unwrap them. Heat rushes my face and fire to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my hand. But not when his Solas are one command from ripping me to shreds. Yet no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrappings all too well. The hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. Damn. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like Link's arm in the new Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know, I think it's cool. But we talk down on it so much, it's like, I guess I have to hate him. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop. Why? With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Illuminated by lantern light, his features are stronger, sharper. He has horns under his ears and on top. Or are those earrings? Because if they're horns, that's pretty cool. But if they're earrings, that's also pretty neat. Everyone seems to have their chest out. Biddies. Moving on. Subtle clinks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hinges. Hitches? Hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards. Probably not. And find nothing to set my foot on. I'd forgotten my back was to the Seaspring. I fall right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the Seaspring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. No, you didn't. At least I don't remember. I'm too stunned to muster a response. The woman was too stunned to speak. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the Soulless around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a breath of relief. You did see them, because I saw them. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. Oh no, they're earrings. Okay. They're pretty cool earrings. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkways. Checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. So that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. Okay. You think you're smart now? In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. You're Ias, aren't you? Depends who's asking. Me. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Ias picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the Seaspring, then dumps out the contents into the endless red. Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face, ear to ear. His gang is the Soulless, so not the best gang. It's not the Arataki gang, that's for sure. Then in an instant, it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. What do you need the Seaspring's power for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. You live here, my guy. You gotta know something. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow. The Seasprings can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. Piss? He wants me to drink. Piss. You just dumped something in it. Wait a minute. What? No. He just dumped whatever was in that kettle into this water. Why would I drink it? Because those things could probably be pissing in it. Hence why I said piss. That's disgusting. Is there a source? Or is this just dirty, still water? He just dumped. He just dumped shit in there. I have to drink from the Seaspring. My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my guts churn. Is there a price? Nah, I'm guessing it's free. Always. Ias taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. I don't think I want to go crazy, bro. That's it? Might have already beat it to the punch. Calm down. We're not crazy. Because I know I'm not drinking from this nasty shit. Are you joking? My humor yearns me an amused, fanged grin. This is a little different. When you drink from the Seaspring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone's who's ever drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless. One big happy family in your head. So I basically become like a whole DID. That's what you're telling me? I'm not trying to drink other people's minds. I'm good on that. Please give me a choice. I do not want to drink from this pond. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. My attendants used to tell me that my power granted people access to a higher plane of understanding. A group mind of my own making. All lies. But something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Ias strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There's still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue. My frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out? You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to run and ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back over to the Seaspring. A lone ripple dances in the quiet on the quiet surface. I take Ias's advice and clamp on my mouth shut. Ayas approaches a nearby Soulless, a lanky, dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its sides. Isn't that the one that... Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ayas squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratches its chin and pats its head. Oh, good doggy. No. A gentle smile plays across Ayas' lips. The affection he holds for the Soulless is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. The dog thing, monster? You're joking. Following a short whistle from Ayas' lips, it trots over to the entrance, obediently tail swinging. I watch the Soulless warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. Like that weird lady did. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. I will not be drinking then. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least now I have another option for a cure, as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Soulless at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. My heart skips a beat when I meet Ayas' eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow. I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. You didn't scare me. I wasn't scared. I don't trust myself to do anything but respond with another curt nod. Get me out of here. Outside, more crimson-eyed Soulless scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the Soulless look over its shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. It's dark here again. I do not want to be here. Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. I can't sense that massive heartbeat anymore. Maybe it was all in my head. The Soulless sits and looks at me, expectantly, with familiar crimson eyes. Wave at the Soulless, pet the Soulless. Since he pet it, I'ma pet it. When they go low, I go lower. As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Soulless tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ayas had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the Soulless spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Iridia and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible. Tamed Soulless being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. Yes. You do that.